Okay, we're in the thick of award season, and it's that time of year again. Music's biggest night, the Grammys happened on Sunday, a celebration, but also a statement. And this year marked 54 years, and the ceremony was also on the first day of Black History Month. So that alone felt incredibly meaningful. And while the Grammys, in theory, celebrate everyone, there was a very strong, very visible presence of Black artistry, legacy, influence, and excellence throughout the night, which felt completely apropos. But there was also another thread that was running through the entire ceremony, and I want to name it clearly because it mattered, and that's ICE. So if you've been living under a rock, it's the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE to be exact, and you saw it everywhere, on the red carpet, on lapels, in speeches, on pins that literally read ICE out. This wasn't just an award show. This was music responding in real time to fear, anger, displacement, and protest. And that context matters for everything that followed. From the very beginning, this was a politically charged evening. You could feel it immediately. The tone, the fashion, the speeches, and a lot of Black on the red carpet. It's kind of a somber energy. Not mourning exactly, but resistance. And music awards tend to go further politically than film and television awards, in my personal opinion, because I think musicians don't just comment, they confront. And music has always been a vehicle for protest, release, and truth telling. And ICE became shorthand for everything people were pushing back against: dehumanization, immigration crackdowns, and families being torn apart. Even Trevor Noah set the tone right away. He came out swinging, man. Trump jokes, Nicki Minaj jokes, making it very clear that the night wasn't going to pretend that everything was fine. And yet, alongside the anger, there was also a quiet insistence on hope. And that balance really stayed with me all night. So Kendrick Lamar came into the Grammys with 9 nominations and left with 5 wins, including Record of the Year for Luther with SZA. Very well deserved. That win officially made Kendrick Lamar the most awarded rapper in Grammy history. Full stop. But what really moved me wasn't just the stat, it was the moment. So Cher came out to present the award and hilariously misread the card, briefly thinking it was being given to Luther Vandross himself, which I guess a little strange considering he's been dead for a while now and given the song's lineage. But Kendrick spoke about how emotional it was to get clearance from Luther Vandross' estate, how close they all came to tears, and what it meant to be entrusted with that legacy. And then here's where the magic really happened, in my opinion. SZA spoke, and she urged people not to fall into despair. She reminded us that music exists to lift us up, especially in moments like this, and that we're not governed by fear. And that for me felt like the emotional thesis of the night. And then there was Bad Bunny. When he accepted one of his earlier awards, he didn't bury the lead. Before he said anything, he just said, "Ice out." 2 words, huge reaction. And later, when he won Album of the Year for Debí Tiré Más Fotos, that message felt even louder. This was historic. It's the first fully Spanish language album to ever win Album of the Year. Bad Bunny was understandably very overwhelmed. He was emotional and he held his head in his hands, and you could see just how much this moment really meant to him. And I loved seeing that. He spoke in Spanish, he spoke in English, he talked about migration, loss, resilience, dignity, and he dedicated the award to the people who had to leave their homelands to follow their dreams. And yes, he even thanked Harry Styles. But what really stayed with me is that he also thanked the woman guiding him on stage with the trophy. So the trophy girls, he even gave her some love. And nobody ever thanks the trophy attendants, by the way. They're usually just standing there like accessories. So the fact that he very intentionally took the award from Harry Styles and then went over to her and thanked her as well, I'm telling you, that tells me something about who he is. He's a class act, respectful. He's a real one. Olivia Dean winning Best New Artist felt like the most predictable win of the night, but it was still very meaningful. Her acceptance speech about being a child of immigrants really hit for me as a child of immigrants myself. She represents a really quiet power. No spectacle, just presence. And her performance, just a girl, a microphone, a wind machine, and a sparkly number. Confident, powerful, elegant. Her. Okay, so I'm going to be honest. Tyler, the Creator, has never really resonated with me musically. I'm just going to say it. But as an artist, I respect him deeply, and visually, this man is on another planet. He's another stratosphere. So his performance at the Grammys, the black and white, the character work, the narrative chaos, then the color destruction, it was performance art. Easily one of the most ambitious sets of the night. I don't have to love his music to recognize the artistry. That cat did his thing. And we go to Sabrina. Okay. Sabrina Carpenter's man-child performance was smart, funny, and perfectly staged. Sliding in on a baggage conveyor belt, these guys with their baggage. The metaphor was clear, playful, and really sharp, and I think it was pop done well. Conceptual without taking itself too seriously. That's one of the things that I think she does really well. Yeah, nice, fun performance. Definitely had a lot of people in the audience bopping as well, so it's a bop. And then, of course, one of the highlights, I gotta obviously bow down to my girl Lauryn Hill, who came out for on time, by the way, on time for the D'Angelo tribute, which gave me goosebumps. And she sounded exquisite. And then, of course, she stayed for the Roberta Flack tribute and closed it all out with an inevitable Wyclef Jean sighting. There was some real reverence last night, a real respect for the pioneers, remembering where this music comes from. And that, too, really matters. Then, of course, there is Lady Gaga. Gaga gave a performance that somehow managed to be deeply intimate and stadium level at the same time, which honestly, I don't even know how that's even possible. But that's what this woman does. She's a master of performance, a master of staging, and a master of camera awareness. It was a master class. I just loved it. But the performance of the night, for me, no doubt, Justin Bieber. He didn't shout. He didn't grandstand. He stripped everything away, literally down to his skivvies, down to his boxers. No backup singers, no choreography, no spectacle, just a guitar loop, a mirror on stage, and a man facing himself. Symbolically, it was so powerful. Looking at his own reflection, nothing to hide, no auto-tune, just a raw voice. It takes courage to stand there exposed on a stage like that, especially after everything he's been through publicly. And watching his wife, Haley, look at him from the audience, proud, supportive. Couple goals, period. If this is a comeback, it's a beautiful one. And he looked good. He looked healthy. He sounded incredible. And honestly, it felt like the most honest performance of the night. Yeah, best performance of the night. So the 2026 Grammys, I thought it was a great show. I thought they were extremely meaningful. And the night really showed how music functions in moments like this. It protests, it grieves, it celebrates, and most importantly, it uplifts. From the ice out pins to the historic wins to the raw vulnerability, this ceremony just said a lot about where we are right now in space and time. And more than any other award show, musicians remind us that we're allowed to feel everything at once. And that's incredibly powerful. So those are my biggest takeaways from the 2026 Grammy Awards. I'd love to know what stood out to you. What was the best performance? The biggest snub? Most powerful moment for you? And if you would like more Pop Culture Decoded, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, alchemists, stay curious.